Hello. I'm going to adjust this because I remember basically this started and the internet connection was weird between Kat and both of me. So we're going back on and hoping that everybody joins back up again. So, hi, people who I imagine just got back. Back. You get to tell me if my connection's better. I found that my thing was trying to connect to the Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi was like, I don't want to work, so now I'm off of my Wi-Fi. This happened last night too. Hoping it would be better this time. It's better now. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Malby. Thank you, Verdi. Verdi? Did I say that right? Oh my goodness. My reading sometimes is like, American education system. Am I right? Slash, were you the one that we had a consultation recently? Maybe, possibly. If that's the case, then we know each other. Cool. There she is. Hello.
As soon as I closed down, my internet turned off, and I had to go check what happened, and it just did a box thing. I don't know. It's stupid.
Seriously, mine did the same thing. Slash, I don't know what my angle is saying about me right now. I'm just down. But anyway, yeah, my internet was, I think, the problem because I had to get off of my internet. Now I'm just on my phone.
I hate it when that
thanks,
happens.
everybody.
It's the bane. It's the bane of live streaming on TikTok. It really
Especially
is.
with spirits.
Hi, Miss Kira. It's nice to see you. So, I think what's really cool, though, is that I basically get you tagged in all my videos now, which is fun. I always see your name in there, and I'm like, oh, hi. I'm sure she knows. The video about him watching the prehistoric animal documentary, he said a lot. Like, I told Rebekah this, but he said a lot more than that. That was just the highlights of the things that he said. Like, he was like, this is not okay. Because, like, another part of the conversation that I think was something I wanted to talk about later was how he grew up and what he grew up learning through the good book, as he said. And it wasn't like he fought the fact that it was there and that it was real. It was that he's like, it's interesting that, like, we don't, this is not even a concept we would have thought of at the time. And he didn't come from a place where he would have searched out this kind of information or known that it was happening. Mm-hmm. The first dinosaur that was discovered happened when he was in his teens. And that happened, I believe, overseas. And then the first skeleton that ever got displayed was in Philadelphia, when, like, just before he passed away. And it was watching him grapple with the thoughts of it. And there was moments where he was just like, and then other moments where he was like, I don't like this. This is not okay. And he hates spiders. Like, I found this out just from watching that. He was like, if I look at that spider one more time, I'm gonna leave.
And see, it's funny, Jimothy is still just like no bueno on snakes. Like, he actually, like, one of his connection points is by touching an elbow, and I know specifically what the energy feels like. And he drained the energy from my elbow once, and it was specifically because he thought I was walking close to a snake. Now, I might have been, but I couldn't see it because it was camouflaged into the leaves. But yeah, like, he came up and I was like, whoa, huh? And he was like, don't. I said, oh, okay, I'm just gonna back up slowly. But the thing on the dinosaurs, yeah, when I initially told Jimothy, and it wasn't me, by the way, it was Jay. Jay's like walking through like our favorite science place in Greensboro, which we actually visited 2 weeks ago. And he's just like, Jay was a dinosaur kid, so he is just going on and on and on about it. Like, seriously, you and Jay should talk dinosaurs because he will just go on forever. And I was thinking when we went to that same science center and Jimothy was there, but also Rupert was, I was thinking that Rupert would have like a bigger reaction. But I feel like he's had so many shocking things in such a short amount of time, like basically within the last year, that he just kind of took it with stride. Like he just kind of looked around and he read all the material that was nearby, and he would just sort of come back and check in, and I'd say, hey, what do you think about all the dinosaurs? And he says, and then he would like walk on and then like read more information and just sort of look around, and then he would just come back, and I was like, do you want to talk about anything?
He's absorbing. We watched the first 15 minutes of Walking with Dinosaurs, and we got to the first dinosaur, and I mentioned to him, some dinosaurs are actually more closely related to birds than to like lizards and alligators. And he went, I don't know if you know this, that is not a bird. I can't wait to show you all of this stuff. And then there was a dinosaur that came on the screen, and he goes, that is an alligator. Do not tell me different. I know what I see right there in front of me, because that's what it looked like. It looks like it's, there's in the Jurassic Park 3 movie, there was a Spinosaurus. It's a huge dinosaur. It's part of what genus is it? Sarcosuchus? Long snouts, sails, early ancestor. Looks like a giant alligator with really long legs and can walk really fast. And he was like, that's a gator. Don't tell me different. I was like, it's not. He's like, don't tell me different. He's not like, I was under the impression North Carolina was not Gator Central. Like it didn't have many, if at all.
Oh.
I wasn't sure. Because I don't know. We also talked about armadillos. Which are an invasive species in North Carolina, apparently. But he said, I'm not from there. I just lived there. And I was like, oh, well then where are you from? He goes, I don't remember. That's fine. We'll get there one day. We'll travel around. We'll find it one day. He said other places we've talked about sound familiar, but he just can't remember. He said, I was young. I was like, man, fair enough. I don't remember a lot of stuff from when I was young, or I choose not to, depending.
It happens. That's the thing. We can go back to Fort Fisher. They actually have a book that has everyone's name in it that's served. And they also have that, I believe, at the New Hanover County Library, which would give us more time and would mean that when I went to look up my great-great-grandfather who was captured, the volunteers were very, very helpful. Like they were very kind, but every time they kept saying, oh, he's not here. He's not in the second battle. He wasn't here. I was like, he was there. Wasn't there another battle? Like I just read about there was another battle. Could you look it up? They're like, no. There were so few people. Nothing happened during that. And I was like, can we look it up anyway? Can we look it up? And they're just like, no. Finally though. And once again, I don't like to think that they were trying to be like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. But also like logic states. Also, I was getting like spiritual pings too of like, this isn't right. So they looked up the first battle. There were 6 people who were imprisoned. One of them was my great-great-grandfather.
It's funny when I was talking to my friends about Arnold. They were talking to him and asking him about like life, and they had said, oh, when you passed away, was it the first battle or the second battle? And his first reaction was, there was 2. I only remember the one. And then they didn't think the first one was a battle. It was more like a skirmish, nothing really big. So he didn't think that was a battle. He just thought they tried, they failed, and then they didn't. Like, yeah. So it's interesting though, like some of the things that he says, like he'll say things and like there are specific like phrases and words that he'll say that I don't catch because I don't understand them. And there's like, it's just farm talk, or, oh, it's just, you wouldn't understand, you're not from the South, like stuff like that. And I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something here.
Whereas I'm like, I'm from the South. Am I missing something?
He just like, sometimes he says things and I don't catch them. And I'm like, what did you say? And they'll say it. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know what that means. He'll just be like, it's nothing, don't worry. I'm like, oh, okay. Sometimes I have like context clues figure out what he's trying to say sometimes. Like he just says certain things. I think there's some influence from somebody else who may not have fully spoke English. maybe like a family member, but I'm not sure. Some of the things he says kind of catch me off guard. I don't know.
So you mean like when Rupert has a tendency to mutter in Welsh, and then I'll
Yes.
be, what was that? And he'll just be like,
Nothing.
and I'll get the energy from it, and usually it's something like annoyance, which I'm like, cool, I get it. P.S. for anybody who's wondering, I'm just going to catch you up real quick. So Arnold is a friend of Jimothy's. Arnold was looking to travel with someone similarly to how Jimothy was traveling. He had first come to my friend Sorsha, who's been on here for lives a number of times. And then we went out to Fort Fisher, Kat and I, with Bojangles, which I made a video about. And Arnold was around, and I was like, hey, let's see if this will work. Hey, Arnold, do you want to go to the aquarium? And that's basically when Arnold figured out that Cat, one, could hear him, and two, knew many, many marine biology facts. And this guy just like fell hard, and he was just like, I need to follow her back if that's okay. And we were all like, oh, you found your medium.
And then
So
we
were
didn't
like,
know he was still around, and then he was still around, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize you were still here.
because he's trying to be polite. Like, he was trying to be polite and respectful. I remember that. Like, though,
He gets
okay,
pretty quiet. Like, there are
from
times I'll
there,
forget he's there, because he'll just do things and just stand quietly and not do nothing, and I'll just turn around and be like, oh, Jesus. How long have you been standing there the whole time?
which, okay, I want to point out real quick, because I made a video recently talking about how my ghosts don't visit other people. Well, Kat is officially the exception to this. P.S. I asked before I just started going into this, and he was like, yes, let them know why I would visit Arnold and not random people. You've spent time with Rupert both before he kind of leveled up and figured out a lot of things about himself, and I've always been very patient and accepting of him. So, one, you were here with me in person. Two, you went through the channels of meeting me rather than just like expecting
harassing you.
Yeah, you know. Fortunately, that's not much, but it's not like people are like running after me, except for that time somebody stopped their car in the middle of the street and ran out of their car to say hello. That was kind of terrifying. I thought I was going to die. But famous in your small town. Anyway, please don't do that. But anyway, so for this SBox thing, the night of my previous live where we were going to sign on, and I had already agreed to talk with Hannah, basically I kept kind of like checking in with her. I was like, hey, do you want to maybe try this time? Because I know you didn't really like it before, and like I understand that, and I'm not forcing it. And Arnold, what's cool, because you have all of the tech, he's been practicing and he's been learning more on how to get more, like how to draw the energy, how to use the energy, how to get the right frequency. So Rupert was just like, he's just like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. And then like pause. He's like, I could go visit Arnold. And I was like, huh? I mean, you could. And then I start getting kind of excited because I was like, oh, that'd be really cool. And I'm sure he'd love to see you. And then, like, we're messaging after the live and, like, what Arnold was talking about, like, oh, I got to prepare. I got to get ready.
He was so nervous. The whole house was like a jittery mess for a little while. I'm like, calm down. It's okay. Like, you've met him. You know who this is. It's okay. He's still like, about it.
So I get it. It's admiration. I think the coolest thing though was you happened to be up with Baby Bean, and you said that it was like the atmosphere changed. Like Rupert entered the chat and he was like, "Come, sir, we're going to have a conversation," and then they had conversation for like 2 hours.
It's coming back into my own again. I miss things, like I can miss things happening around me because it takes more for me to focus in than it used to. So it was very surprising to me to be laying there with my little man who, was just like, I don't want to go to sleep. And then I'm just like, it's okay, Bean. What was that? something's off. That's interesting. Maybe. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. And then I tried to talk to Arnold. I'm like, Arnold. And I hear, I'm all right. That's it. Then dead quiet again. But like, guys, I gotta tell you, if a spirit were to visit me from Rebekah's side of the world, I would not be like, oh my God, yes. I'd be like, what happened?
Something right. We talked about that. Like, if Rupert, that's the thing. You notice, because he's coming to your home, he said it through me to communicate to you. He doesn't need us to communicate to talk to Arnold, okay? He did that because that's just what's appropriate. If you're with a medium person, or not even a medium person, but like if you're tied to someone somehow, it is general courtesy to be like, hi, check in with them. It is still their house. You know what I mean?
Yes. No, I agree. And yes, Miss Kira, Arnold came from Wilmington, from Fort Fisher. Think of Rebekah as like the Match.com of ghosts, pretty much. At least that's what everybody said in the comments about it.
See, okay, what's wild is I was talking to Sorsha about like this and like just connecting with spirits and people, you know, not being so afraid of them and, you know, treating them as humans again, like that idea. And then I thought of you, but then I thought of like how she paired me up with Jimothy, and I was like, okay, cool. But then like, you're not the only person who I've helped to bring a ghost together with, as far as like just community and like that kind of thing, and like strengthening your skills. So I'm just like, who else? Who's next?
He said, I don't think she knows how much I appreciate what she did for me.
Well, okay, he also, I appreciate his forwardness, and really it was a chain of connection, because I understand, talked to Adam, who is close to Sorsha, and basically said the intention, and then Sorsha said that to us, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep an eye out, see what happens, and then things just sort of lined up, so I think it was just meant to be.
I will tell you, I can go on and on about things, random things. I learned a lot about a lot of random stuff, and just like he'll just sit there and just be like, and just listen. When I'm done, I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, no, go ahead. I'm just listening. I'm like, oh. He actually, one of the things he said last night, he was like, he feels a little like, you're cool? Okay. Just want to make sure. He feels like how he doesn't feel as educated because he doesn't know any of these things that we've been talking about. And he's like, I just feel like it's kind of embarrassing. I don't know any of this. I'm like, hon, it's okay. Because you know what? Everybody goes through the process of learning it eventually. Like, even like, there are people like right now who don't know certain things about certain things. It's okay. You're learning. You'll figure it out in time. And he's like, well, you just know so much. How do you know so much? And I'm like, mental illness. But, you know, I just had an interest and I picked up a lot of stuff. He's like, well, thank God I have you, or I wouldn't know nothing. And he was like, he was a little hesitant about sharing learning things because he didn't want people to think that he wasn't. He said, I'm an educated man, just not the way that you would expect, I suppose, is kind of how he put it. Like, he's a working guy, you know? He didn't have time to do all that stuff and reading and stuff.
And I think this is a great kind of example of why some spirits choose to stick around. Now, granted, there are the spirits who like don't know what's happened, don't know what time has passed, are very confused, or very possessive of like space or something. But then for those who were choosing to like actually keep around, like in our space as friends, companions, you name it, family, I'll say family because mine feel like family, but with them, I really call it like the second life idea, where they want to still maintain the memories that they have of the time period that they came from. So that's why they're not re-entering in the reincarnation cycle right now, because they want to still honor that life. However, they also want to learn what is going on, how time has passed, the things that have moved forward, and be educated. And just with a lot of these guys, they passed really young, and so they didn't get the extent of life that they may have had if they were born in a different time. So this is this is what this is the cool thing to do with ghosts, you know, being like, hey, let's learn about dinosaurs, you know what I mean? Like,
And aliens, that's one. Aliens was commented, and I was like, oh, geez, that's a whole other, that's a whole other can of worms, man.
Jimothy said that he saw alien lights. Like, he didn't know what the aliens were, but I was just like, you know, like random lights in the sky, not like planes or something, but stuff.
He goes, oh yeah, seen that. Like, dude,
There are aliens out there.
There has been reports of UFOs, and I know that's not the right term anymore, but whatever. UFOs have been reported for a long time. Since, like, I think the earliest report of UFOs was like in the 1400s, I think. So, you know, it wouldn't shock me if they were like, oh yeah, I see lights all the time. Sometimes the cows would disappear. We don't know.
Okay, I for another live, because I do want to get to the SBox. I want to do a live with Arnold and Jimothy and have them tell us about UFOs, what they see over the years, because it's a common sighting on the North Carolina coast. And I think it'd be really fascinating. And that way they kind of get to talk to each other again.
Oh my gosh. He actually was so sad because he wanted to be there for Jimothy's birthday. But he's like, just as long as I'm here and he said in spirit, it's fine.
Well, okay, next time he wants to be involved in something for Jimothy, like, seriously, Adam can go get him. So yeah. He's like extended family. Like, he's one of Jimothy's bros. So I'm like, the bros.
He's like, I appreciate the escort.
Yes.
He understands how to move around. Like, he goes out in town by himself and walks around for a while. Like, that's his thing he likes to do. But he doesn't stray far. And we still have the seashell, which I thought disappeared the other day. I couldn't find it on the shelf. I was like, where's the shell? Freaking out. Like, it's so funny. So every time I touch that shell, I'm like, home. Literally, just home. Oh, Vesta, I'm wearing the earrings you got me. Thank you very much. By the way, they're very cute. I appreciate them. So, Rebekah was recently given one of these paranormal investigator pieces of equipment, which is funny because it is the same one that I had with me the first time I came down, and I was like, you want one? You can have this one. And you were like, oh, no.
I was like, no, I don't want it.
Oh, Miss Kira, I have a question. Can they perceive us on TikTok? Like, I know you said he acknowledges, but oh, thanks, Vesta. So he can see what you guys are doing and writing in the comments and the chats. Yeah. He watches the videos. I play them for him just at least 15 times to make sure they're okay. He's probably not going to recall names, like to usernames specifically, but he's aware of certain people that we interact with regularly. At least that's what he says. He notices you guys and he appreciates your interest. That's what he said.
Rupert says he chooses not to read into anyone on an individual basis because he doesn't know who you are.
He's trying to emulate me because I always I said this the last time that I was live. I always remember my usernames that are in my chat. Like, always. You could disappear for 3 months and then randomly come back and I'll still remember who you are. So he's like, I feel like I need to do it too. It's a lot of names. You might not want to do that. So we have, this one you can get off of Amazon, guys. So if you ever want to start your ghost hunting adventure, I believe this one's about $80 and this is one of the cheaper ones. It still works phenomenally. We used this for so long. We got some awful things coming out of this at the cemetery. So first of all, you want to turn it on, and I'm just going to turn down the volume. So you know how we have all these little buttons here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these buttons, the ones with the arrows,
Mm-hmm.
those are going to be your scan rate buttons. And you were on FM when you tried it. So you want to press the button all the way over here with the M on it.
Okay.
Now you're on AM.
Okay.
So when you're doing that, I haven't used this one in a minute. Oh, that's funny. My computer just randomly turned itself. It was on sleep mode. It just randomly turned back on. I closed out of the picture, and his picture's back up on the...
Is he excited?
He's been doing stuff. You know, I remember things have been moving around inconsistently, but also consistently enough that I noticed. And I'm like, once in a while, I'll hear a, oops. And I'm like, who oops? Like, who was that? I don't know. Like, we're figuring it out. Because sometimes he'll be like, I did something, but other times he's like, that wasn't me. So we also have other people here, so, you know, we're trying to figure out.
Real quick, I gotta remember. I want to answer a question. Somebody asked from my end, can you explain how this helps when you can already communicate through mediumship? Okay, so my psychic senses have to do primarily right now with claircognizance, clairvoyance, primarily inner eye clairvoyance, and I have clairsentience, I have clairemotive, or empath is what some people call it. Now, you'll notice what I did not list off there was clairaudience. So I'm growing my clairaudience. It is my newest psychic skill. I have inner ear clairaudience. However, with that, as I'm still growing it, and it's like on the lowest of all the ones that I just mentioned, it is because I can perceive him or other spirits through all these other ways. Clairaudience, I'm still growing. And for a long time, I didn't want any tech because I really wanted to rely on my own skills. And primarily, you're not going to see me using this tech if I'm sitting with a consultation or even just like going out about town and just hanging out. Now, here's the thing. It's really for a personal reason. It's in part for you too, like for all of you viewers, because I know you want to hear the spirits that I'm like communicating with, which I think is cool. SBoxes do kind of drive me up the wall because if I'm trying to listen, I can't always tune in. But when Kat came down in October and I actually heard Rupert's voice, it like made me emotional. And so I was kind of like, oh, that'd be really cool if I could have that recording, like, you know, to hear more, like with my ears, like my external ears. So yeah, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked it.
That was a big moment. I was very honored to be a part of that moment. Really.
Yeah, he was also like, finally. By the way, that recording's on my YouTube if you want to check it out.
Yes, go to Quirks and Conjure and go and watch all the lives that Rebekah has done. I do. I play them for the kid because he likes it, Rebekah. I actually got a, hey, you should go check on the baby. So give me 2 seconds. Let me go make sure he's comfy and snuggled up and sleepy.
For anyone wondering, yes, Arnold is doing a wonderful job at assisting Kat with baby.
There's literally if I hear like a check on the baby, it's my actual mother-in-law, not the one, but the actual one.
Okay.
Yeah, my mother-in-law is my actual mother-in-law has passed away. My mother-in-law would be grandma, technically. Mm-hmm. So, yes, actual mother-in-law hangs out and just watches the baby all day. And then will mess around with me to be like, oh, go check the baby. Go check the baby. And almost like obsessively at this point, because I'll go in there and be like, he's fine. He's sleeping. Let him sleep. Don't touch him. He's resting. Guys, if you're still lagging and Rebekah's live is working all right, I am not offended if you just want to go watch over there. It's totally cool. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Some folks say that you're having a lag, like your audio isn't matching your video, but like from what I can see, it is. So maybe leave the live and come back and see if it fixes itself.
Yeah, I could do that. I can jump out real quick and just.
Oh no, I didn't mean you. I meant the folks.
Oh yeah. No, I
'Cause you're coming
actually
through
have
fine.
requests. I've said like, hey, if you think if the live is lagging, leave and come back, and they're like, it didn't fix it.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
but some people said it's matching up on your end. So if it matches up on your side,
yeah, people say it's good.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not offended. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the problem is. Whatever. But anyway, so boxing of the S. Okay, so when you're using these, the reason that it has different speeds of channel scanning really comes down to, in my experience, the ease of how to hear it. With AM, it's less likely you're going to get interference from the actual radio stations because AM's not as used as FM is. Now, FM is used mostly because there's more words that come out so that they can manipulate those words to respond to you. However, I feel that it's more their own words if you go on the AM instead. So it's really personal preference. I feel that it gives it more legitimacy if you go from straight static and then something still comes out of that static and it's still an intelligent response. So that's why we use AM. And the scanning, honestly, like if you can hear it when it's scanning like really fast and you can hear it better, great. If it scans slow and you can still hear it, it's whatever works the best for you. Mm-hmm. So when you're scanning, you can press one of the arrows either way and just hold it down. One's going to go forward, one's going to go backwards.
Okay.
And then when you want it to go faster or slow down, just press the button that you use. So
wait,
I can go
button
faster.
To make it go faster?
So if you want to go faster, you want to go to the one that's closer to the M. If you want it to go slower, you go to the opposite side. Like this.
Okay. And I just hold it down.
To get it moving, yeah. And then you can just press them real quick, like boom, boom, slow it down, or boom, boom, speed it up. Either way.
Oh, okay. I figured it out. Cool. Okay.
So then...
Acting like I'm not a 90s kid for a second. I'm like, I don't know how the control works. Like...
So then once it's at the speed you like it, and you can hear everything coming through, you're on your right channels, then you just ask and listen, see what happens. Hey, Arnold, can you say hello to Rebekah? Word came out. Didn't hear what it said exactly, but it did say, It said something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, like, he said that it's very, like, it's like a beacon almost. Like, he doesn't hear it the same way. He doesn't hear static like I do on my end. It just kind of sounds like, you know how when you listen to something too loud and your eardrums go, ooh, for, like, hours afterwards? It's like that. And speaking over it and talking, he'll say, I am talking. But he's not talking in the same way. So we've been trying to figure out how to get past it. And it's the same thing with touch lights too. Like, he's like, I'm touching it. What am I doing wrong? And I'm like, I don't know, like, what you would be doing wrong. He's like, I'm touching it. I don't know why it's not working. We're trying to figure out. And then he's touched other things and it's worked. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So if you wanna work on your box for a second and see if any, like,
that's the thing. I got a here, and I got a. I think the woman's voice is radio.
I heard that. I did not know that that's how it sounded from your guys' end when we would go on investigations. Now I know why, like, people struggle to hear it, because it sounds so different from when you're actually listening to it.
I'm still getting random words, which is interesting. So, okay. One, you'll notice it's a lot quieter since the last time you were here. It's because we properly warded our house. Like, finally. So it's rough on the digital end of things like this. Yeah.
But you're not on Main Street, Wilmington. So, like,
Wilmington's got a lot.
Dude, guys, I cannot emphasize to you. Now, we've been to the cemetery. If you've joined me for a cemetery live stream, if you see me go to any kind of locations, we've done SBox almost every single time. And never have we actually gotten so much at once. Consistently answering yes, but spaced in between. Them talking over each other. They're like, and I'm just sitting there like, I don't even know how to process this currently. It was so much. Ashley, are you going to have Rebekah to your childhood house eventually?
We're working on it.
We're working on it. My sister's very like, I don't want you to stir up the spirits. And I'm like, they're stirred.
Yeah, always stirred. There's one spirit that needs to be removed, and that's fine.
Yes. We don't do cemetery lives anymore because I think we've gotten past the point of being informative and we're just being bothersome at this point, and I don't want to bother them. So I kindly let them know that I wouldn't be coming around there anymore. And the few spirits that we have spoken to that were very responsive don't really stay there anymore. We've helped them to find their way to move out, or at least to have more freedom to get out of there. So we're not going to be going to the cemetery again anytime soon. But we do have some pretty good investigations and spooky stuff going on in the future, I promise. It's just been really busy here to be able to schedule things and get things out. I don't want to harass them. I think we've harassed them enough over a year.
Okay, question.
Yes.
I have this, and I don't know. Is it a charger?
What
is it? I don't know. It was included in the thing, so now I'm like, maybe it's a gift. I need to figure out how to put that in.
Oh, is that a USB?
Yeah, it is.
You have a USB on the side. You can actually probably it might. I was always told that these could save recordings, and that you could put an SD card in it. But I could never figure out how to do it because when I tried to put an SD card in it, it just got stuck. So maybe that's to use on the side here to save it. Maybe. I don't know for sure because that's not what mine came with.
Playback. It plays back.
There you go. I'm curious. Hey, Arnold. Could you do me a favor and say your name for your fans at this point? I said, hey, Arnold. He said, yeah. I said,
by the way, what's the brand of this? I don't even know. Somebody keeps asking. I'm like, I have no idea.
If you put in SBox in Amazon, you could actually get them at Ghost Stop. If you go to ghoststop.com, you can find them. But Amazon has them. If you just put in SBox on Amazon, this will come up. But so will this one. And the difference is price. This one was $189. And this one is $89. This is the more affordable option that still does it. This one is just, it's got extra fancy stuff that I just whipped myself in the face that you don't actually need overall. Because investigation equipment can be expensive, but investigation equipment does not make the investigator. Your ability to gather, research, and get out there and do it is what make it what it is. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. I could literally tell you 5 free ways to do it. where you don't even have to get one of these. First of all, get yourself a Rebekah, number one.
You mean a medium?
We have to have a conversation about that at some point, because I don't feel like mediums get the respect that they deserve for the work that they do for teams. And you're more of a commodity, like, what do the ghosts say, ghost lady? Like, they said you're an a-hole. That's what they said.
Yeah, it's usually just like they said they don't know who you are and they don't care.
Or at the Railroad Museum, where they're just like, why are you in the way?
Yeah, literally though.
Where
if
do
you
I
haven't seen
get
that live
Rebekah?
recording, oh my goodness.
Rebekah doesn't have, like, you can't get Rebekah's on Amazon, sorry. They're all sold out.
But you can get Rebekah's on TikTok.
You can get Rebekah's on TikTok.
Yeah, with a lot of different numbers at the end of the name that are not me, by the way.
I 7 times already I've reported that account, and it's still there, and I do not understand why.
Yeah.
And how they still keep getting your photos. And I'll see comments on them and go to see the comments, and then suddenly the comments are gone. I'm like, it's because it's when you report it, because it's not me, it's not me reporting that it's me. They don't take it as seriously, I guess, but you can only report it so many times. And they're still pissed me off. I'm sorry, it makes me mad for you.
Yeah.
Actually.
I was just responding. I'm gonna turn mine on and see if I can get something. P.S. If you keep hearing the plane go by, it's because there are planes going by. I'm 10 minutes away from an airport. For anybody who's like, is that? No.
We all need a cat and a Rebekah.
Yes.
One day, we will be join our forces together to help ghosts and go out there and be like, I got the equipment.
We've already been doing that. There's no
yes, we have, but we need consistency. Consistency is key. That's what I'm saying. Like, neighbors. If we were neighbors,
we'll get you down here.
Eventually, just kidnap me at this point. It's fine. So why don't you run your SBox?
Okay.
And then pull it a little closer to the microphone, but not marginally close enough so people can hear it, but not so much that it's just gonna in the microphone.
Right.
And just ask, if you want to try to ask to see if anyone around you wants to talk, if Rupert wants to talk, or if Jimothy's nearby and he wants to try, or if there's somebody else that, like, it could be pinging farther than we realize. So, grabbing from the street, like, buddy, talk.
All right. Wow, that got a reaction from Rupert. He was just like, you're not going to get people from the street and bring them in to do this. That's not what you're going to do.
That's not what I meant, sir.
And he's just like, now he's like, I suppose I will say something. And I'm like, please. So
yes, please,
here we go.
I'm so excited because I got to hear it the first time, and I'd love to hear it again because it's been a minute.
Okay, so is that too loud? How does that sound from you?
I can hear it. It's fine for me, at least.
I don't know what that word was. Rupert, do you want to say something? Like, do you want to tell me not to do something dangerous? Or just say hello. That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second. What are you getting? Because I didn't understand anything.
I'm hearing words. All I can say is I'm hearing words. I would have to, like, the difficulty is hearing it through the it's going through the phone, and then it's coming through the live. So it's very difficult for me to hear exactly what it's saying. But there was definitely 2, like, male sounding voices that came through. Yes. I remember recalling his responses and what they sounded like. Mm-hmm. One of them sounded close, but it's hard to tell for sure. The issue, okay, so this is actually a best practice, or like a to keep in mind with SBoxes. This is for everybody in the chat if you want to buy your own SBox. there is a certain amount of tuning in you have to do with your mind when you're doing it. It is very difficult to catch things at times because there are times things will come through and they'll come through under static or in the middle of it or just above it or stop the static completely and say something, which is what we hope for. But there is a focus you can do. It's what I do when I'm listening to it. Like Estes, remember the Estes we did where I just sat there listening and it's just blah, 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 blah. Focusing on the static helps your brain to hit those moments where it breaks. And recording things and getting a recording of everything and then going through a program and just kind of cutting down that background noise really helps a lot as well. So if you don't catch it right in the moment, as long as you have a backup that you're catching it with, then you have the ability to check again later. But also the difficulty is when lots of people are listening to it at the same time, you're going to get lots of different opinions of what they think it's saying, because our brains are very adept, as I said in my video about apps, of picking up sounds and coming up with words. So that's why I like to do general consensus, like, okay, 20 people listen to this at the same time. This is the raw recording. What are your thoughts on this? And then go based off percentages of what's one over the other, and then figure it out from there. Lucky for me, Arnold's very direct. When he speaks and he says something, it's, hey. Or when I said, what fort did you serve at? And it said, Fisher. How old are you? 30. Okay. We got it. We're figuring it out. It's difficult. I don't quite understand the difficulty on their end, but I know it is. And to be clear when they're saying it. And especially with Rupert, because Rupert has an accent. So how that picks it up and speaks through it. I've heard accents through the SBox. I heard a straight Irish accent come through. And I don't even know what they said because it was so thick. And I was like, how did that happen? And yet when somebody said hi, I heard, wait, what is this? Don't understand. But
it's got to be a freaky thing.
Honestly, like Rupert, it's practice. We did SBox every other day for 2 weeks straight because he asked to. But afterwards, he would be like, I need to take a nap. Mm-hmm. So we'd only run 10, 15-minute sessions. And then once the questions, the space between answers got too far, then I was like, all right, we're good. We're done. Mm-hmm. Because I don't want you to try to force the effort into it when you're not feeling enough energy to put more effort into it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I would like to use this again because Rupert's also kind of chiming in of I'm fine. So, okay, I'm going to do this again.
Go for it.
Can you repeat that you're fine? Maybe not mutter it. That'd be cool. Could you repeat that? I didn't catch it. Yes, he's not appreciating my sass right now, and I feel like I'm going to have to make deals with him already on doing some kind of baking or something, because he's also like, you want me to say something? I'm I would like you to say something. All of the people watching, but he's like, but you want me to say something? I'm like, okay. So, okay, how about this? We're gonna try again. What do I have to do to get you to say something? Okay, he said he's not saying it for them. Okay, what's something more basic? Do you want me to bake? Do you want me to calm down? What? Did you just hear calm down?
He straight just said calm down. There you go. There you go, friends. You heard it here first. He said calm down. I kind of understand his apprehension and his, like, he doesn't see, it's, I kind of felt like when we were working with him to do it before, it felt more like he was trying to, we were asking him to perform, like, do something for us.
To prove his existence.
That was
why he wanted to do it.
Rupert, remember what I said. This proves absolutely nothing other than you have an ability to speak out loud. We already know you exist. I told you that I believed that you existed before I even came there and met you for the first time. Like, and same thing with him. He's like, well, if I can do this well, people will know I exist. I'm like, it doesn't matter if you can or can't, because you exist. You exist because I know you're there. 3 independent people know you're here. It's fine. It's totally fine.
And that's the thing. Now he's not so much like that. He's just, a big thing with me having the platform and sharing his story and turning into our story and like our story again and that sort of thing is he's been very much like, oh no, what?
I feel like Rupert is the anti-Arnold.
Well, he would have been like that though, but you know, things changed, and with Rupert, like nowadays he's more like, hey, not about the fame. Like he enjoys that I check in with him in order to make the scripts and to, you know, honor our time together and to share the stories, and he cares much about other people not being afraid of ghosts and being able to be open and that sort of thing to good folks and to using your intuition and not trusting bad folks. Though nowadays he's very much just much more about like, hey, let's just hang out, let's just chill, like you don't need to keep answering every comment if it stresses you out or something like that, which PS I do love answering comments. It's just I'm an introverted person and sometimes I just need to recharge. So that's all it is, but I do read all of them and I am very grateful for all of them. He sees what that does to me sometimes, like when I get something that's not great or something like that, and that's when he's very much just like, hey, take a break, you know.
I think that's a good balance to have though. Arnold, when I talked to Arnold about working on all this stuff, I was like, the reason people don't believe that ghosts exist, because I've jokingly said, you know, you don't exist, right? He was like, I'm pretty sure I'm standing here. Like, I know, but because I can't make him appear out of thin air and be like, this is my ghost. Because there will always be arguments. Oh, that's just this. Oh, that's just this. You're lying, you're making it up. Or, you know, when people make the comments about, oh, obviously you have something happening up in here, which I've been waiting for someone to make that comment on my videos, and trust and believe, if they do make that comment about my mental capacity, we're going to have a serious conversation about why that is not okay to do in many different ways. But anyway, he saw it as a challenge. That's why he's so into it. Does he care about all of this? Not generally. He's very excited to just be involved. But he also, there are days he's like, I don't really want to do nothing today. That's totally fine. Oh, you know, I would like to not talk about these things. That's totally fine. And there's a bigger conversation that we can have in this respect about how they are people. They are still people. Even though they're not physically visible in here, they're still here. And they deserve the respect, the graciousness, and the boundaries that you would offer anybody else if you were hanging out with another person. You know, he's the first one to be like, I think it's time for you to get off your phone and go to bed. You know what I mean? So
it's, for that, it's kind of refreshing to be with somebody who, or to have someone around who isn't so connected to the technology age. And that's one thing I, so much in the last 6 months, and this has helped me just really chill out and also get perspective on being more present with those who are around me or friends virtually, you name it. It's actually, because at first I was really annoyed, like I'd be like scrolling on TikTok and it would be like 3 hours later, right? And Rupert would just kind of be standing there like, there's a sunset. And I'd be like, yeah, there's a sunset. That's super cool. And he's just like, would you like to enjoy it? And I would just be like, yeah, okay. And then I just kind of like sit there with it, with my phone, and be like, it's a sunset. And he's like, would you like to put it down? I'd just be like, okay.
Literally, like, just the way he says certain things, like, so matter of factly, just like, would you like to maybe participate?
I'd like to be alive.
I adore Rupert in so many ways. Like, seriously. Actually, it's funny, on the opposite end, I recently taken up like doing 15 minutes of just playing a video game and just chilling out, because I don't tend to relax very much. I'm always like either baby working, baby working, baby working. He was like, why don't you play your theater game a little bit? Calm down a little. I'm like, oh, I got stuff to do. He goes, not right now. Go play your theater game. I'm like, okay. And then he watches and he's like, why is this? Why is this? So, you know, like, it's so cool to share something that we see as normal everyday things, normal everyday stuff that we do, normal everyday knowledge. And it's like, for him, like for Arnold specifically, it's just fascinating to him how much has changed. Also a little intimidating, but also very cool. And Rupert's being the real one. He's like, put your phone away, go outside and touch some grass.
Well, that's good, because as an Aquarius, I'm like, I do need to touch the tree. By the way, he never has suggested for me to touch a tree. Somebody asked just now, they were like, does Rupert feel like a third wheel? Because the two of us are primarily having the conversation. So you know, just because you're not hearing him on the SBox, because we both can't have a conversation and be on the SBox, it's very actually one-sided. That doesn't mean that he's been quiet throughout this. You might see me react to something that Kat did not say. He also, generally speaking, doesn't talk that much. He's much more of a like hangout, usually in doorways. We figured this out. He's that ghost in a doorway, and we called him out on it. This was Sorsha and me. I was like, why? Sorsha was like, why are you always in doorways? And he was like, I don't know. And I said, is it like a sentry thing? Like, is that a thing? He was like, I never thought of it before. Should I move? Well, okay. How about this? I'll give folks a last sort of thing. I'll turn the SBox back on. If Rupert has parting words for folks, I will give. Please have them be nice.
Rupert is the silent type, and Arnold is very sociable. Arnold was the everybody's friend type. He's very used to just conversating with people offhandedly, just like, hey, how you doing today, buddy? Like, that's just how he is. He's carried that over with him. But does not say that he doesn't get frustrated and be like, about things. And I can confirm, Rupert is the quiet type. And I've noticed, I've seen it in person when we're talking, and then like, you're just like, so anyway, just like, I love that. Because I do it too now. When I'm like talking to somebody, I'll be like, anyway.
It's that random like understanding of like, that didn't come from you. That was not the mind. So okay, I will I'll ask with this thing on.
There is something. You do that, yes, but there is something. I did a thing with a friend, and she's an investigator. She has a different SBox than this. She has the older version. She said, if I turn this on my end, could he speak to me from this side? I was like, I don't know. So Arnold, because we did that before, we tried to, he was like, I mean, I could try to speak. I'm like, sure, if you want to try to say something, you can, but we don't know how that works. Like what the distance thing is, if he can hear it, since it's kind of like a little like, you that goes out, if he
Mhm.
can pick it up enough through the phone to say something to you, he would love to try if you would allow him to do so.
So, yes, I would also say is for the form of communication, if anything is ever unclear, just project what had been said to him. And I'll do the same.
Okay, fair enough. He will definitely let me know what he's trying to say, because he'll be like, we did that with an app. We tried an app. And I was like, say something. Don't tell me what you're gonna say, just say something. And then the app said something, he goes, that's not what I said. So you want to set up your SBox. He's doing little stretches. He's like, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Okay. Okay. So just to confirm, he's gonna try to speak through my SBox.
Yes, he wants to try.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
trying to understand distance limitations, since they don't perceive and deal with things the same way that we do. You're 9 hours from me. I don't know how that equates for the rest of them. We've talked about this kind of once or twice. So I'm wondering how far communication can go when the method is right in front of his face, literally through the phone.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say, I was like, I can connect with his energy, but I don't know if that would flow through me to the thing. Rupert's like, don't do that. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to do that.
Literally, you don't even have to do that. He literally wants to try to see if he speaks at it through the phone, or if he focuses on it through the phone, if he can come through from the other side.
Okay. Okay.
Because this is an experiment we've been trying to see how that works.
Okay.
So
let's go.
All right. Arnold, you ready? He's like, let's do it.
I just got a yes.
All right, go. Come on, get closer and go for it.
That was something. It had that low canter to it.
Arnold, could you, when you say something to her so she'll know it's you?
I thought I heard Rebekah.
Go ahead, keep trying.
Say your name.
Can you say your name to her?
Okay. Some other people said they heard his name. Somebody said they've heard Arnold twice. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. So people
I asked him to say something specific. So, like, quietly asked him to say something specific.
Here's the thing. So I've been hearing the canter of his voice, something low and as I've described, like kind of like a smoker. So I've been hearing that, but I haven't been able to make out the words. Go figure, just like my clairaudience sometimes.
I thought at one point I heard Arnold come through, but I wasn't going to say anything because I wasn't sure, because I don't know if I'm hearing, like, if it's going to be interfered in the process of coming through. But he's like, I think I'm doing it. So, but I asked him to say something specifically that's not his name or anything, but something that, like, if he says it, like, I'll know for sure if I hear it, that that's definitely going to be him talking. So there you go. All right. He's like, he's he's so excited.
Okay. I'm wondering if they can actually talk to each other, like Arnold and Rupert right now. Because I got a yes when I projected the thought to Rupert. He's like, yeah. Like,
wait, can you hear Rupert?
Oh, Rupert can project his thoughts that he's pinging. So yeah. Okay, guys. Want to talk?
All right, I need you to say what I told you to say, so that I know that you're coming through correctly. This is going to be great for my friend. She's so excited. Did that say Rebekah again?
I don't know.
gotta do is just focus in. You can hear it. It's okay. Just take your time. It's fine. No rush. You're good.
Yeah. You know what? I'll turn it down for a little bit. Yeah. One for folks who are like, "Where's Rupert?" Or somebody said, "I think Rupert's over here." Yes, he is. And you know, this is spirit stuff, because if you were actually here in physical, then he wouldn't fit where I am. So
he's got to kneel down quite a bit to get in frame. So yeah, like he's not super tall, but he's taller than me, and I'm 5'9", so I got to look up a little bit, just a little bit.
I do want to be true to what I said Rupert could do, because that's the thing. I did hear a voice that I recognize as far as the cadence as Arnold, and I also heard Rupert. And if I could be incorrect, but I also got a ping from him at the same time I heard something that sounded like it, which was "This is dumb," which was at the very beginning.
I mean, fair enough. It is kind of dumb, but like.
But that's also, you have to understand, like, one, that's his humor. He does have sarcasm, which at some point will come through in my videos, where he says something sarcastic and then he's really proud about it. Like, that was his sarcasm at the beginning. He would like drop something and then be like, and I'd be like, was that a joke? Like,
so here's the thing though, when I'm hearing it from your side, there were things that were said that immediately that's my guy. Like immediately as I heard it, because he's starting to learn to, like, I don't know how to explain this, because this is like ugh. So with the SBox talking, we started with him sounding robotic when he would respond. Like it would sound very like and then as he's learned to manipulate it better and actually use it more effectively, we started with like a higher pitch, and then we've dropped back to like where he was. So now when he comes through, it's that hey deep, like that draw. It's not, his draw is not quite getting there, but it's coming through a lot better now, and I can hear it a lot better now. So there were things that were coming through, and I was like, well, dang. It's I think it's really cool that he actually was able to do that. And in the inverse, I would do it on my end, but I don't want to bug Mr. Rupert anymore, because I feel like he's a little like.
Okay, here's the thing, because I do need to go, but
yes, no, that's fine.
Explain something real quick. Spirit is not bound by space or time. It's the same way that I'm able to connect with people for like virtually in order to connect with their spirit guides or know what ghost is there. It's the same thing when people are like, "Oh, is Rupert standing or sitting right there?" So, yeah, him being able to do that, it's like linking the energy, which I said that I wouldn't do, and I think I did it a little anyway, because I do that sometimes. You know this about me. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna not connect, and then I'll be like, "Hi, your spirit guide said that."
Rebekah's like, I said I wouldn't do it, but I did it. Me, like, I'm not gonna follow the child's voice into the woods. I did it.
So okay, Rupert,
I think that was very interesting. I think that was very interesting. Like, I'm a little kind of surprised.
What's how they can travel without it taking hours?
I think that like the fact that we as people have such a good connection, and then since he knows you, he feels more comfortable trying to make that extra effort. Yeah. Which now he's like, I'm a little tired. That was a lot. Like, go take a nap.
It's fine. Here I am being like, "Hi, yes, I will hear you. In fact, I will pull your." Sorry, Arnold. You're doing so well. We're all like, seriously. Whenever like Sorsha and I talk, we're always cheering on. So you're doing great. All right.
He like walked away a little bit. I'm dead. Like he just went.
Thanks.
I really appreciate. Like, I'm glad that I can show you how to use it. I can actually do like more like. Oh, thank you, Vesta. I can actually give you like more instructions, just so you have them on hand in case like you're like, oh crap, what buttons do I press again? I'll write it all out for you so you have it. And yeah, I think this was a really good example of like what ghosts can actually do, which is a lot more than people think that they can.
And you can say, all you viewers, that you saw it on our random live that we decided to have because I didn't know how to work the spirit box. So thanks, Kat. Last thing. All right, Rupert. If you have something to say to anybody, that sounded like Welsh. What do you think of my videos about you?
I feel some.
There was a mumble. Do you want me to stop this? Could you say stop if you want me to stop?
Ooh.
I gotta kind of stop, but then people are also saying it's Welsh. He's speaking in Welsh.
That's a good tester, though. If he can actually speak Welsh and it comes through, why would you ever hear Welsh on a North American AM radio station? Just saying.
Yeah. That might have been Rupert. Why would you say your name? Okay. I'm getting enough between some sort of broken thing of stop, halt, no.
I just want to say real quick how from my investigative perspective, from the first time that we made this attempt to now, I am just very impressed at how far he's come from that. How he was trying to fight all those other voices to get through, and now he's more talkative, or he just whatever. But anyway, yeah, I'm just very like I'm very impressed, and I'm very like proud that I got to like help facilitate that to happen in the first place. Like, really great job, Rupert. I will make you more Welsh cakes when I come to visit next time. And bring you whatever
only
you want.
if I have to make them. I made them incorrectly. I think every time. He's like, but you made them.
I'll send you the recipe that I used.
You know what? I'm gonna be nice because you mentioned this too. This is my trade. Okay. And I already am not happy about it. Because I only bake so much, and I'm like a very like low-key chill baker. Give me a recipe that requires me to knead dough a lot.
I got a few.
Yeah, that's something about it. Something about me in the kitchen kneading dough.
I got a few.
Great.
I got that Welsh cake recipe. I've got a couple other like more bready recipes that would require some kneading. So I can help you out with this, Rupert. I can assist.
Wow, he's beaming. He's yeah. This is. It's not all that he wants. Okay, cool. I was just like, is this? Are we good? And he's like, I spoke for you. I'm like, I know. And then he says, I spoke for them, for you. I know. He's gonna want more later. I don't know what that means.
I kind of feel like I'm helping with with the thing right now by being like, oh, don't worry, Rupert, I got you. And he's like,
See,
Jack.
yeah. Maybe he'll just tell Arnold things to tell you for him or something, or like he'll randomly
I
be like,
already
"Oh,
do
tell
a
me that I'm
lot for
coming
that
over."
man. I give him his own plates of like snacks and food and cakes and all kinds of sweet treats and things like that. I gave him his own space to be in. I get him stuff when he asks. Like, I do enough for him as it is. I'm just saying.
Yes,
Also,
you
hi
do.
Harley, I'm good, baby's good, baby asleep and still. Yay. I'm shocked he's made it through the whole live, to be honest. I really thought that I'd be like, I gotta go. My son is upset. But it's because he doesn't feel good. He's got a cold. But yeah, no, yes, I can do that for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I asked for this.
And Arnold's just like, I just hear him like, he just oh man. And then he just like disappeared. He's taking a nap right now. Favorite recipes for you. Do you think you could get Rupert and Arnold's favorite recipes posted for us at home to try?
He would need to be reacquainted with them, because he didn't really use recipes when he was cooking for his mother before leaving Wales. So it was just kind of like what was around and what was thrown in.
You
Most of
could
it was
say
stew.
his favorite meal, if he had a favorite that he recalls that he would like. With Arnold, honestly, if I'd been like, this is how I make fried chicken, that would be sufficient because he keeps begging me to make fried chicken. I just don't have the time to make fried chicken right now. And we
Well,
don't
that
have
that's how we.
Bojangles.
Yeah, I was about
So
to say we did snag him. We snagged him. Like I mentioned the chicken, I think, but yeah, he came out and he was like, she knows marine biology facts, and she came with Bojangles and crazy equipment. And Rebekah said some stuff, like it's pretty much.
Rebekah's like translating, and I'm just standing there like, oh, look at the sharks.
Yeah, and I'm just like, he's staring at you, ma'am. Like,
as I'm just like, wow, look at that bobblehead getting real close to the glass for some reason. I don't understand.
Oh, that was so cool. I would love to go back to the aquarium and like maybe go live and do that, because that would be really cool, or at least get videos doing that.
That was really interesting, and I still think we have to talk about that a little bit because that was really odd behavior that I noticed from them. And, I did have a discussion about that with somebody who's a little more realistic about things. And I was like, yeah, but sharks deal with certain things all the time in aquariums. Why was this time specifically different? Why were they specifically interested? Why did the shark circle the middle of the tank?
Yeah,
when
how
somebody
is it that
decided to visit?
Yeah, like how is it that I could say, oh, Jimothy wants to get closer to the tank. Jimothy's in the tank. And then after that happened, the shark would go down and like hang out and like kind of like check him out and then go back up. And then when he walked around, it would follow. And where our ghosts were, that was Arnold, Rupert, Jimothy, and then two others, they were up at the top, and then they like came really close, and then we went down, and there were other people here, by the way, and then the sharks came down to where they were. There was a point, I think Rupert went in there at one point. He just like went through, he was just like, and then he looked at the sharks and he was like, and then he walked out. Like, whereas Jimothy's like, I'm in the sharks.
I've never seen a shark like run themselves that close to the glass before. Not anytime. I've gone to aquariums tons of times. Like, I love aquariums. It's literally like my happy place. And I've never seen a shark that interested in things happening outside of the tank like these sharks were when we had a gaggle of ghosts around us, and they kept swimming closer and closer and closer. And then Jimothy's like, ha, ha, ha. And then the shark was like, whoa, wait a second, because sharks have EMF detectors on their whole body, which we gotta do video about that
Shark facts.
eventually. Shark backs. Did you say you had to go?
I do. I just love you so much. So
I know, it's because I'm amazing. I know. But we should definitely do this again sometime. And trust and believe, my friends, Rebekah and I will not be staying apart for too terribly much longer. It's gonna be phenomenal, and there's going to be so much happening. We pretty much set everything up about where we're gonna go and like what we're gonna be doing. And while you're here, we're going to Wawa's. That's what we're doing. I'm taking you to the Wawa's. And
yes, I miss Wawa.
or Sheets, even like there's a place you've never been before up here, I will take you. And yeah, I think it's gonna wait till the day I'll be like, "Hi guys, it's me, Kat, and also Rebekah sitting in my office," and people will be like, "Oh my god," they'll die.
If I'm gonna be sitting in your office over there, I expect sitting on Arnold. Just say if because he's always over there. It was bad, but also Rupert was like, "You will not sit on him."
He perked up just enough to be like, "That's all right." That's all right.
I've sat on Jimothy. Jimothy sat on me. It doesn't have to be weird, sir.
Arnold really respects you, and he's very appreciative of everything that you've done to facilitate this, but he would never step on. He's like,
is he a little afraid of Rupert? Like, is he kind of afraid that Rupert's gonna like?
You know what? No, he's not afraid of Rupert. He respects Rupert a lot, but he also is like, just not. I think you'd make him like very like he'd be like this if you sat on him. Like he wouldn't know what to do. Kind of like if I were to walk over to Rupert and just start like touching him, I think he'd be like, "What the hell? What are you doing?" Which I would never do, by the way. I would never just walk up and be like, "Hello, Rupert." No.
Also, he was like, "You could try. I would move."
You could chase him around. No, Rupert, I would never. I would actually not. Like,
I would chase you around with an EMF reader. I would chase because I have before.
He kind of gives me like introvert vibes, like, "Please don't touch me unless you ask 5 times first." So I would never out of my way just be like, "What's up, Rupert?" No.
Me, the opposite, being like, "Hi, hi, hi." It goes off. And then he's just like,
you push the EMF next to him, and he was like,
pretty much. I've seen him do this. Like, I've seen him like, I'll go to him and I'll be like, "Hey," and he'll just like pop across the room, and I'll be like, "Hey," and he's like, "Stop, pop," and I'm like, "Hey."
Not like Jimothy with the REM pod where he's like, "Is it gonna get me? Is it gonna get me?" Kat needs to play hide and seek with Rupert and Arnold and Jimothy. No, I will lose that game.
But we could try.
If you got 2 on 3, somebody's gonna get caught. It's probably gonna be Jimothy. I'm not even gonna lie.
He breathes loudly sometimes.
I also feel like eventually he'd pop out and be like, "You guys can't find me." Like, "You're right there, dude." Oh, dang it. I love Jimothy. Tell him that I miss him. Please.
I will.
Thank you. You go do what you've got to do. I'm going to go check on my little guy. My husband should be home soon. But, guys, this was really great. I love being able to do lives with Rebekah. And I love that we did that little experiment because I think it was a lot of fun. He breathes loudly. Everybody's laughing. Like, it's his pride. It's all he has. So, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love you.
Thank you.
I could say I miss you, but I talk to you like every day. So, you know.
I mean, it's okay. I miss you too. We're good.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll be like, "All right, husband, I'll see you in a week." And I'm just going to come drive down to see you. You wouldn't stop me. Like, no, I'm going to be doing a live where we're going to do live questions for Arnold, but keep it respectful because I will not ask him crappy questions from you guys. And we could definitely do some live Xbox. He's very into that idea. And eventually we're going to have to get Rebekah back on with us and talk about like all kinds of stuff. We need all the girls together.
Yes,
it's going to happen. The manifestation has begun, and we're just waiting for it to come into fruition. That is all. But thank you so much. I love you, and thank you, Rupert, for your efforts. And I'm sorry to annoy you.
It's like,
and Arnold's just like, I said bye. I said bye.
We'll talk later.
Thank you guys so much for all of you for being around. I'm sorry that my live was a little laggy. I don't know what that was about, but I will be talking to you guys at a later time. Bye, Rebekah. Bye, guys. See you later.